Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Necromunda. Hello.
Lick,
Hey.
lick, lick.
I feel like our intros are getting stronger every single time, and by that I mean more deranged.
Same thing.
Yeah,
We
sounds about right.
don't know what we're doing.
Who are you?
I don't know. Who are you?
Moving on.
Where am I?
Who are you?
Who am
Why
I?
am I?
Moving on.
Yeah.
Welcome to the old
wise
retirement
door.
homes dementia D&D club.
What did you say? Just puts like a fucking foghorn up to his ear.
Oh.
All right. So, for those of you who joined us last time, welcome back. You already know last time was a very interesting car combat session, but for those of you who weren't here last time, let me give you a brief introduction to the group and what happened last session. This is Necromunda, the Hive planet in the world of Warhammer 40,000. The grim dark future where there is only war. We are a group of intrepid gang members. They're a bunch of gang members in the slums of a giant, massive, trillion people Hive city. It's like ultra slums. Like, you know the slums that you're thinking of? Yeah, like ultra slum that. And it's even more slummier than that. And they're there. And there's always war, still, in the ultra slums.
You can think of, then multiply it by 10.
Yes. And as of right now, they have successfully made it from Hive Primus, the hive that their gang was originally stationed in, that was getting way too hot, and thus they had to bail, and have successfully crossed the wastes after a brief, and by brief I mean, 5-hour-long session of vehicle combat? Way too long session of vehicle combat, with some desert bandits that really wanted all of their shit out in the wastes. We, and by we I mean the gang, finally arrived at Hive Acropolis. They got to spend one night, basically, or as the game considers it, a downtime or a long rest, with the Chuck It Movers company that they had contracted out to get them across, who weren't completely happy with how many casualties they sustained, but knowing the risks of the waste, they sort of dealt. And they were paid, so they knew what they were up for. And also Sarah Creed is a charismatic negotiating god, so she got you out of having to pay anything extra, because she's pointed at the fine print and said, fuck you. But now you're here, and you really need somewhere to stay, because you have no base or anything set up in Hive Acropolis. You need to gain some territory in some way, shape, or form for your gang, which is about a few hundred strong, to call home now. You guys discussed in between sessions some locations that would be potentially useful for you to look into, and the one that you eventually decided upon was this base being a location that has become known as the processing plant. You've heard some rumors and things about people, nobody really left this place much. This place, the people that lived here weren't actively expanding their territory or anything, but it was a well fortified location, and you've heard that there was some nice loot in there for some reason, but you also heard that basically everyone that went there didn't come out, so you were unsure as to how they had said loot, or how you heard about said loot if nobody left. So you're not sure what's going on with all of that. But all things considered, eventually Manny scouted out the location from far away with his rangefinders and realized that this place is occupied by a bunch of crazy-looking guys with spiky-ass armor and chain axes and like butcher cleavers and shit. And there was this one guy who's gargantuan who you managed to see. Who where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? I actually have to show you him from this side. Right. I have to pull him up on this side. You managed to get a picture of how the fuck do I tell it to show to players?
Click. There you go.
There you go.
There should be a button that says show to players.
I can't just show the image to players as easily as I'd like. Let's see my library. Here, that's.
It's the butcher.
Yeah, he's the butcher. He's
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
give
put him. I'm just gonna
permission
put him
for
on the
us to see
map
his
here.
stats. If you want us to see, if you want us to be able to see his stats, you have to give us editing permission. Can we see his picture?
I can like copy paste you his stats, but that would be like being able to see more than what I want you to be able to see. You're able to see his base stats and whatnot, which I did post at one point.
Yeah, it's in the NPC.
I'll just
No,
post it
it's-
real quick again in general, but that's his stat block base.
Downtime.
He's strong.
He is strong. He is big boy.
He's strong,
but
but more charismatic than me.
yeah.
He has double my charisma.
And he was this massive 7-foot odd tall guy, very lightly armored, just like a couple shoulder pads and a couple like wrist things, some stuff on his ankles, but basically like shirtless and like just wearing like bandolier kind of shit, with a hat that has some strange cleaver on it. You guys all really wanted to comment on just like smashing the cleaver further into the hat to kill him. Apparently that was a trend. But yeah, Manny got a good idea of this guy as he murdered an intruder, as you happened to be looking at him, and basically just carved him the fuck up and brought him inside the facility. And you do not know what the inside of the place looks like, but you know that the outside of the place is like the outer walls are all lined with spikes. That seems to be the motif inside too. And there are a bunch of people who primarily seem to use, as I said earlier, melee weapons, axes, shit, a bunch of chain weapons, all sorts of crap like that. And that was what you gathered from it. Now, our intrepid viewers who are well aware of the Warhammer 40k universe would very well know, those of you very specifically familiar with Necromunda would very well know that these guys are probably corpse grinder cultists. Otherwise, more generically, you might know that they're corn worshippers. But these guys don't know either of those. So they just know them as a bunch of guys that really like the spike aesthetic for some reason.
Yeah, they like skulls and spikes. They're classic.
Yeah,
Skulls
lots.
and spikes. Significant
Wait.
style.
Would Flo and Minino being freelancers for the Empire just being dropped off here and forgotten about?
I mean, technically you're not freelancers. You are Imperial
Yeah, we were-
employed.
Yeah.
Knowing like the actual nature of chaos, you just get executed.
Yeah, if you were to actually know chaos proper, you wouldn't be doing
We know
too
is
hot right
that
now.
chaos is a thing that corrupts planets, and it's a bad thing. We don't have no idea what it actually
Gotcha.
is beyond that.
Fair enough.
Just, it's
Yeah,
a bad
if
thing that
if
makes
you
bad
if you
people
could have
do bad
if you could
things.
specifically
It's-
look at something and say that's corn, then you would have been killed as a heretic.
Gotcha.
Or an inquisitor.
Yeah. Yeah, you would, or you would be part of the Inquisition.
So I believe the plan we came up with was just Manny goes in and challenges their leader with Deadpan there as backup. Then the rest of us just fucking charge at some point.
Get
I think the idea is that like we set up and see if there's like a get in or like bait them out for the challenge or
Yeah, you can like challenge him outside. You
Yeah.
often hide in places.
Hey.
So, from what it sounded like, you guys decided to come at this during the day, correct? I mean, you're down in the Underhive, so it doesn't really change the lighting.
Yeah.
Everything is still dark as shit, but this place seems to be lit up with
Yeah.
a bunch of, like, randomly scattered braziers of fire, so you have some firelight to see, and you can see the front gates. So for the sake of Mouse and anybody just listening to this podcast style, what you see is about a good, let's guesstimate, about a good 26 odd meters away from you is the front gate of this compound. It is a huge wall towering above you. The wall stands a good, I would say, about for I don't know. I would say more like 5 to 6 meters tall. It casts a decent, chunky shadow. And the wall itself is a width of about 40 meters across for the front face of it. There is a large bulkhead door at the very front that you can see about 6 meters wide. There are basically every square inch of the wall that isn't the bulkhead door is covered in spikes. Massive spikes, still with, like, dried blood on them. Like, every single one of them has at one point had something spiked on them that was living. Whether it was a human or, like, a Necromundan spider or something around. This place has been super, super occupied. Why the fuck are you seeing it like that? That is not what it's supposed to look like. That is weird. Yeah, that round thing, that's not there. The fuck? Does that look different now? Yeah, that was dumb. I fucking hate map editors sometimes.
What is
That
that round
is-
thing supposed to be?
That is
You'll
the
see.
lighting.
You'll see. You'll see.
Is there
Unless-
any elevated area that Mouse can provide overwatch?
Actually, so you see on that, you can see the shadows of them, the picture that got posted in the Discord for you. But basically what it's coming from is in each of the four corners of this place, you can see this over the walls and in the lighting. But you can't, like, on the map anyway, so there's no point in even being able to see the map to see them. They are these giant, towers in each corner of the map, presumably guard posts of some sort, but all of them seem to be unoccupied, and none of them are really, like, none of them have proper platforms on them. They all just seem to be like what would have been like telephone or power poles at some point that have been just like moved, repurposed, and covered in more spikes.
Sweet. Any chance I can get some sort of vantage point from any of those?
It's a possibility,
it's
but from
inside
where
their
you
walls.
are right now, you would have no idea. Yeah, and you would also have to get inside the walls. These are well within. They're just inside of the walls.
Ah. I see.
The location that Manny
that-
scouted this out from was like a few clicks out, so you wouldn't get a shot from there. Like a few
Gotcha.
miles out, a few kilometers.
Rangefinder goggles for the win.
All right. Any other questions about the place?
Nope. Besides the fact that I'm already readying my weapon as we approach.
Yeah, I'm assuming you all have your weapons drawn. You're not going to walk towards a place that looks like it's occupied by a bunch of psychos with stuff without having your weapons at the ready.
Who's in the golf cart with me?
How about be Flo? The grenade launching, wielding. Yeah, she has the grenade launcher, by the way,
Yeah, I got it.
with actual ammo.
Yeah, she has ammo. She has a few frag grenades of her own that she can utilize for it.
All right.
But she doesn't really have she doesn't have like a massive arsenal. because she's been slowly dwindling her supplies over time of being here from doing odd jobs and shit. So she's starting to ration it out.
I mean, like, I almost think 3 would be too much, but yeah. I know Pixie will be like.
They won't cause much structure.
I don't think
Frag,
Pixie
frag
would be
grenades
like.
don't really do any structural damage to the wall. She does inform you that she has like 1 or 2 crack charges.
For last resort.
I think Pixie. I don't think he'd be like in front of the gates with the golf cart. I think he'd be like off to the side, waiting for like a command or like a go signal to like drive in.
All right,
So-
yeah. So you're further off than this, I would assume.
Yeah.
Which Mouse can provide with his telecom thing silently, so they don't know that it's coming.
Right. All right. So Flo is going to be on the cart with you. I'm going to temporarily give you control of Flo just so you can move them together.
You can
Alright.
pin Flo to the golf cart.
Oh yeah, I can just group them.
Yeah, but it's weird. It doesn't really pin them, like connect them together. Sometimes you can drag them separate.
I mean,
Connecting
I
things
can
is
just
weird, it's all
I
fun.
can just like do this. Oh well. No, it doesn't.
No,
doesn't
I'll
let
just
me-
give you control of her token for now.
Alrighty. So we're approaching.
I do not have control over.
I am
token.
giving you
I-
control of it right now because
Okay,
I forgot
I-
to do that.
Instead
You
of
now have
running
control over
instead
all
of
3
running
right
away,
there.
we're coming closer.
I have control of the cart.
I make a gesture of staying maybe about 20 some odd meters behind the rest of the group.
Oh, can't control Flo, even though I told it to give you that control.
Yep.
I'm probably hanging out around where Pixie and Flo are, kind of like getting my shot ready just in case.
There you go. All right. So as of right now, you see nobody outside. This area out here is quite desolate. Like they're not pictured here would be a bunch of like randomly strewn around scrap metal and shit. But otherwise, there's not really anything of value. There's like rubble and scrap metal and bleh. Basically just shit that I was too lazy to like actually put out here because it would have wasted time and not been important.
Right, so I'll advance a bit. We'll let everyone else get in position. I don't know where they're planning.
I'll be right behind you.
Pixie is behind a corner, like off. Like it might take him around to get to the fight once he's called. So just be
My
ready.
connection to the roll 20 has been interrupted.
Lovely.
Yay!
This is going to be a session and just me constantly getting kicked out of the roll 20. There's the
Thank
internet.
you, internet. Yeah, so as you approach, nothing happens.
Once I get a little closer, I'm gonna shout, "Butcher!"
I mean, oh, you're shouting it like there.
I'm gonna shout it, but yeah, I'm gonna push a little bit more than shout it out.
You get no response.
Is there a piece of scrap metal nearby? I can easily grab and just
Yeah,
toss
you can
it
just
at the door.
you can just grab stuff.
Yeah, I'm just gonna, as I'm approaching further, I'm gonna toss it and throw it at the door.
Right, you check the metal out the door. It clangs against the bulkhead. The bulkhead seems to just like vibrate mildly, but it's a really like from the sound of it, you can tell this is a really thick bulkhead. This is meant to be like industrial grade, like kind of shit.
Is Pixie able to drive around the walls and see if it's all intact?
Yeah,
What is
if you
scouting
want
reports?
if you want to drive around it, go ahead. You can do that.
Sure, I'll do a quick run around, see if there's any like holes.
Rather, let me just save your time. The outer wall is actually well maintained. There are no notable gaps or anything. But as you approach the bulkhead, you just notice, you throw your thing at it. It clangs against it, and you hear this loud reverberating sound. You can tell it's a thick bulkhead, but after a moment, it just starts to open.
Oh.
Mouse
And a
is just kinda
large, loud metallic clanking noise comes up as the entire thing. First, the left door just goes one by one, and then the right door move to the side, and you can see inside, pinned to the front of this large building inside of the main gates that Manny saw earlier, are a couple
see
relatively
anything.
fresh but rotting corpses on spikes.
You guys want me to wait for you outside here, or do you think I'd provide better overwatch inside?
I'm gonna call out for the butcher. I'm not going in there just yet. Cause that's ominous as fuck.
You call out for the butcher again?
Yeah.
No response.
Hang back a little bit more. And I'll continue on a little bit.
Everything is sort of like just dead silent around this entire area, and yet still nothing happens as you approach closer.
I'm gonna calm everyone to start approaching. Just be on your guard.
Do we have like comm beads or anything like that?
We have our
You all
Basic
have
communication.
Voxcast, like basic Vox to communicate with each other.
And
Like
Mouse
like
is
short
also-
range hand Vox.
Yeah, so just come like try shooting gun. Just come to him to try shooting his gun.
Yeah, sure.
Might get
I'll
her
pull out my bolter and unload 2 rounds into the base.
Right, you shoot 2 rounds at the door. Both of the rounds hit the door. Like they seem like the front door is not as thick as the outer bulkhead wall, quite obviously, but you can tell that while it does like go through a decent bit, it doesn't like go through completely. You could definitely gun this entire thing down with enough like pressure and with maybe a stronger gun, but still no response from firing at the thing.
All right, we gotta go in. I guess they're not coming out.
Should we come
Everyone-
with, or you want to go?
Loose follow.
Yeah, I'll stick behind you.
Right. How do you want Pelia, Creed, Gut, and Spider to come along?
I kind of want to keep them out of the front. I want them nearby in case. I want them as witnesses, but I don't want them actively to get engaged unless absolutely necessary.
Right. So Sarah is going to opt to stick
Yeah,
around
so
with Spider and
probably
Helia back with
combat.
Mouse.
Yeah, kind of like a good 2 meters behind everyone.
'If-
20 meters behind everyone.
Yeah, backline
Yeah.
reinforcements.
And whatever Doc
Rear
wants to do,
guard.
it's up to him. He could be up front and be ready with his splat rocket.
I've got
or...
I got 120 meter range of that thing. I'm at 250 meter range.
Yeah,
I can hit the other side of the base from here.
Right.
I can hit anything on this map that I can see. I've got a way about range of that.
I'm gonna have Pixie definitely have the engines running, ready to speed in if something happens.
Good call.
All right. What do you think, Deadpan? Trying to do him.
I guess we play their game.
All right. I'll put the bolter away and I'll pull out the sledgehammer. Guess we kind of play ball. I'll walk in.
Right. You walk into this main area. Nothing like jumps out at you or anything, but just to give you all an idea of what you're looking at. You walk into here. It is a large dome-like building. This is basically, in front of you, the closest equivalent to, like... It's like a massive dome with a couple of pillar-like spires reaching into the sky. Presumably that once spewed smoke, because you are very much under the impression that this was once a processing plant for what you know of the basically the butcher's guilds that exist in Necromunda. Anybody that wants to can roll a knowledge check for me if you have it, or just a raw int if you don't.
All right.
Are we rolling this about?
Is this everyone that's...
Yeah,
is this everyone or just
I'll
everyone
roll it
that's
for
inside?
Mouse. Unless you really don't care, Mouse. It's up to you whether or not you actually want to roll it.
Sure, why
What
not?
would it be for? To know what?
It's like general knowledge. If you don't have it, it would be an int.
Oh, yeah, no. I don't think
Okay.
Manny would care. Manny.
Alright, Mouse, you rolled a nat 20. You know shit all about this stuff. This is absolutely new to you.
Oh,
This
shit.
is
just
all
take the cover.
fascinating, amazing, incredible. Pixie, you've actually run jobs for these guys before. Well, not like specifically these guys, but similar guilds before. You know exactly what these guys do. So Necromunda works on basically recycling as much as humanly fucking possible, especially in the underhives, because resources are so very, 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 like, valuable and rare, to the point that you have to repurpose human corpses. These guys take human corpses and turn it into Soylent Green. They make nutrient shit out of the dead corpses of fallen Necromundan people and repurpose it back into society for the nutrient rations that everyone gets. This was once one of those plants.
Yeah, guys. So, this might gross you out a little bit, but like, you know, when you die, they ship your body off. Yeah, this is one of those plants. They turn bodies into like nutrient paste and shit. So like that stuff you're
good.
eating, yeah, that's human body parts and junk.
Oh, good. We all have recycler then.
Yeah, one thing you do notice, Manny and Deadpan, though, is that this stack that would normally be spewing smoke is dead silent.
Okay.
Did you have something to say, Mouse?
Nope, nothing here.
Alright. So yeah, that's basically what you're seeing on this approach and what you figure out. So that's you know the original purpose of this place. Oh, and because it was like a nat 1 success, Pixie, you've heard rumors of things similar to this where members of these guilds have at some points gone fucking crazy from doing this all the goddamn time and have basically turned into crazed, like, cannibals?
Yeah, so by the way, from the looks of it, I think these guys might have been trying to skip the middleman, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Getting high on their own supply?
yeah, eating from the source.
Oh, wonderful. You know, drinking straight from the tap.
Oh, good news. They have less men then.
Yeah, so that's basically all you get. And as you approach this door, you see the couple of rounds that you fired that are embedded in the front door. They made it a decent way in and then just got stuck. It looks like if you had fired it more like point blank, they would have made their way all the way through. Or if it had been a bigger caliber, because I'm assuming you just used like a pistol for it.
And I used my sledgehammer to smash, to just give it that extra portion.
Yeah, so you're like swinging at the door.
Oh,
I'm speaking at the bullet holes I made, trying to
Please.
puncture them.
What's that, Zach?
oh, can you see what controls the door?
There's just a small panel by the side of the door.
It comes to mind and be like, oh, can you see what I can... Oh, person must have opened it. It must be nearby. Not abandoned. Somebody there.
Okay, wait. Okay, well,
It's really sneaky for these days.
let's see if by opening this door.
Yeah,
Get
you're trying to
ready
open the
for
door in front of
anything.
you.
Trying to
Like
have
it-
everyone also advance forward, yeah.
So, how are you trying to open this door? Like, are you actually smashing it open, or are you just trying to, like, normally open it?
Is there any indications of how to open the door?
Yeah, so, like I was saying, there was a data pad on this one. There's just, like, a similar, smaller data pad on this door that you could just, like, tap. It's
Yeah, I'll
basically
tap
like
it.
an open, close thing. Yeah, you tap it, and it opens.
Thunderdome.
And you look
Oh
inside.
boy, look at
And,
these.
alright, so this is what Manny and Deadpan see. You look inside. Alright. I forgot to hold my button down. Alright, let me give you a bit of a description of what Deadpan and Manny see. As you open the door, both doors slide open. The one that you shot at gives a small, like, annoyed creak at you from wounding it so, but still manages to fully open up. And you see a small staircase leading down into a circular area. This place was once, you know, it should have at least been a massive factory floor, but it has been repurposed quite drastically. Now it looks like a grand gladiatorial arena. There are stands upon stands along the outer rim of this entire area, and you can see them packed with basic people. Like, these guys don't look like fighters. They look like old, disgruntled workers just sitting there. They're all wearing similar masks and whatnot, like these similar skulls type masks, but they're sitting there. Most of them are unarmed, and they're actively sitting, cheering now that you've entered, and are waiting, seemingly in anticipation for what is to come. Down along the center, you see the middle ring is covered in dried blood from what you assume to be previous quote-unquote combatants of this arena as you come in. And there, standing in the middle, is the butcher that you've seen before, standing calmly, looking at you, with one chain axe in each hand. Behind him, you can see some other armed gentlemen, in similar armor, more armored than their leader, it seems, standing behind him in what seems to be some sort of ornamental or like sort of like a traditional formation of some sort for them. You can't tell, but they stand and hold their hands at their sides and look at you with a sense of like anticipation as well. But the weapons they have are not like readied for combat. They are actively like put away, like at their sides. They don't look like they're about to charge you or anything, and neither does the butcher.
I'll tell everyone to come into the outer perimeter, and I'll enter the arena. And as I'm entering, I'll say, I've come to challenge you for right and ownership of here. As I do.
You just hear, you see him look at you, and you see his head tilt to the side, and you hear probably the biggest crack that you've heard in the longest time. You guys outside can hear this. He tilts it the other way. The sound resounds again. And he looks at you. And he points at the gun on your hip.
I'll toss it a deadpan.
I catch the gun.
Sorry, I cut out a little bit. Yeah. So what I was saying is he tilts his head to the side and you hear this massive crack ring out, Zach. Your internet is fucking killing you, isn't it?
Oof.
Mouse will probably kind of like do the silent call out to Pixie.
You can
and kind of
probably
say,
get
it's not a
position.
gunshot, it's just some guy cracking his neck. Don't come in just yet, but be ready. This might get
Yeah.
hairy quick.
Yeah, I'm actually just trying to get everyone to gather around the outer perimeter, the inner outer perimeter of the dome.
Pixie comes over the com. Yeah, just keep that front gate open for me.
Neither of the gates seem to close. They both stand wide open for you all. They seem to just want to invite you in. It's all this strange sort of show to you.
I'm guessing Flo is also on our comm network right now.
Imagine it's like a vehicle comm that Pixie's just like using as a radio. Like he's got his feet up on the dashboard and everything.
Gotcha.
Meanwhile, Mouse is just like, Creed, does this look like bad business to you, or is it just me?
This looks like... I don't know what to make of these guys. They seem to be a little bit out of their depth.
Yeah. Doesn't sit right with me, but it doesn't look like we have much of a choice.
I say we move a little bit inside, shall we?
Yeah, I'll be right behind you. Kind of following behind her and Gut.
I just go drag you along with them. So yeah, you follow along with Sarah, Gut, Helia, and Spider, who go barely inside of the bulkhead, and now you can see those two towers that you were seeing earlier. Like I was saying earlier, they seem like just repurposed telephone, like what would in modern days be telephone poles. They're just something else entirely in here, but they look about the same. And they're also covered to the brim with spikes. They don't seem to have any proper platforms on them, but it does look like with some effort you could climb them. As far as getting a comfortable position, you're not sure. Manny, something you and Deadpan both notice is that the entire back wall of this place, like, if you were to... Like, this entire back wall, you can easily see through. And there are ones in all four corners of this entire place. You can see this tower from where you are. You can see the top of it.
Deadpan relayed this information because I think Butcher's raring for a fight.
Understood. I relay it through the comms. I give out the layout.
Right, so yeah, Mouse, you're basically told that one of the towers in the far left side of the field is, like, in perfect vision of the fighting arena. So you could light up a perfect shot if you wanted to from there, but everyone can sort of just see you as well. So you're not, like, camouflaged. But it doesn't look like anybody's holding any guns in there.
Huh. Weird. I'll try and get a look at it. He kind of like goes around, sees what he can do from there.
Hey, so you make your move around there. Let me move the image to show everyone else in the stream because I'm bad at following up on this. Yeah, so this was the tower that I was just talking about to them. And mouse makes his move up here. Meanwhile, Pixie is just sort of still on standby with Flo, who... Pixie will note that Flo is being pretty impatient with you. She's like sort of just tapping her foot, just like, when can we get the action?
I don't know when they give me the call, lady. For now, just like relax, yo. Put your feet up.
Meanwhile, Mouse comes on. Oh, Lord. Yeah, this looks like it's going to be big. Fuck.
Yeah, let me give you a new screenshot of what you can see. But try and do this in such a way that I don't give out information that you shouldn't have. Yeah, that's a screenshot of what we're doing right here. The towers that you can see and the back of the arena. Like it's just like you can't really walk through it easily. Like it is actually covered from like running out that way. You wouldn't be able to escape through those, but you could make a shot through them. Might be a little bit difficult. It might count as like light cover or something, but you can make a shot. There is vision.
Alright, alright. So I'll try and set up a position where it's harder to see me, but it's fairly easy for me to see them. Preferably not in the tower, since that's just a beacon to show, hey everybody, I'm here.
From me looking at them, is there any other is there any firearms on them? Or is it all just melee weapons?
They are all holding melee weapons. You see axes, you see butcher cleavers, you see chain axes, you see one with a battle axe, you get double-headed axe.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Yeah, relay that also.
All right.
So yeah, so that way, even if you wanted to get high up, they can't return fire at you.
None of the people in the stands are armed.
Oh, alright. He starts climbing up the tower. Hopefully trying not to get any attention from anyone, but still climbing.
All right. That's going to be a check that I'll have to do for you. So let me find the appropriate one and roll that for you. It's going to be... Well, yeah. First, we'll do a stealth. Let's see how well you do it without being noticed. Ah, great success. You rolled a nat 3 out of 15. So yeah, nobody seems to notice you. But now you have to try and climb this thing. And these things weren't really built well for climbing. Like, so what you get from looking at this thing is that these guys just got used to climbing these things, and basically all of them are super muscular. They just sort of grabbed their way up. You're not exactly in that position, and you don't know the good grabbing points, so you're actually going to have to make a lot of effort out of there. Plus, they like slapping spikes on everything, so if you misstep, you might, like, poke yourself. That's not going to be fun. So you're going to have to make, between your choice of an acrobatics or an athletics check, considering your dexterity is much higher than your strength, I would assume you would want acrobatics.
Yes, please.
Alrighty. You, we'll get back to you because you barely succeed, so it's going to take a while. You rolled a 15-15. So yeah, you definitely have quite a bit of difficulty getting up this tower. You do it stealthily, you make sure of that, but it's going to take you a while to get into a position, so we'll basically be coming back to you later. Back to the ground floor, we have Manuel and Deadpan looking at the butcher who has pulled out both of these chain axes. They start to whir, and he points at you.
I'm assuming none of your goons will come in and jump and interrupt us, will they?
He looks at you, raises his head a little bit, and for the first time, you hear his voice. You hear, "Yak!"
I'm assuming that's confirmation that he doesn't want them to sully the fight.
No, that's just a fucking phone.
Oh.
Damn it. That's John's run. All right. No. What happens is he starts to he lifts up his head and looks at you and sort of just like slits his eyes and basically just says, "You dare presume I would besmirch the honor of this arena?"
Just have to be sure.
There
I'll
will be
have-
no disgrace. You and me. Come at me.
All right, I'll
He
go.
steps forward.
I will too, with both hands on the sledgehammer.
All right. So for all points and purposes, at this point, you and the butcher need to roll initiative. So let me start up the turn order thing here. Let's see who rolls initiative better. The butcher.
Should I roll initiative as well? Or
Yeah, you're technically sort of in here, but your initiative will be if you interfere, he'll take it as a slight, and things will go to shit.
okay.
You technically have an initiative order too, though, in case you decide to.
All right.
So he gets the turn.
I can just do it ascending. So the butcher steps forward, and there's no charge or anything. He just calmly walks up. You're already in an arena. There's no need for theatrics or anything. You've already done the theatrics. That's happened. He pulls out both of his chain axes. They start to whir, and he only swings at you with one of them. It seems like he's just testing your metal. And does he hit on an AC of 17?
What does he need to beat? My defense?
Your defense.
He needs to beat your
yes.
defense, yes.
Yeah, he beats.
Alright, and what is your armor rating?
2.
Alright, so you would take 6 damage from that.
Okay.
And he does not take a second swing at you. He just sort of waits to see your reaction to this.
All right. So for me, my round, I'm going to use melee specialist two-handed fighter, which gives me advantage on all my melee damage. So to the end of this combat, I gain advantage on damage roll when using a melee weapon two-handed.
Alright.
Advantage on damage rolls, correct? Or is that
Yes.
attack rolls? Okay.
It says damage. That's what this thing says.
I just wanted to make sure.
And then, I want to do a sledgehammer attack, which misses. Great.
You swing wide. You can't use rerolls on attack rolls.
I don't have any rolls left because I got the great success. Remember?
You would have gotten all of your rerolls back, actually, for the long rest, I think.
I do have them. Okay, cool.
But you wouldn't be able to use it on an attack
That's
roll.
fine.
That's the thing. Right. So he takes a swing at you, cuts at you, you take some damage, you stagger back a little bit, you swing back at him, and he adeptly sort of moves to the back, and the crowd cheers for their lovely leader, who then takes his other axe and swings it towards you. Damn. Why am I just... What was that roll? 15? God damn. That would be another 4 damage. He's rolling low on his damage, too.
I'm glad, but I'm already starting to get hurt. Yeah. After this round, I'm gonna just let Deadpan do his call to have things kick off.
Where to go? Where to go?
For my turn, I'm going to do. Where is. Yeah, I can't do that because I've already rolled initiative. But sledgehammer again. Ooh,
Oh, he crits.
Nice.
That would
and
be a crit, yes. Your crit damage is listed wrong, so let's actually figure out what your proper crit damage would be with the sledge. That was a nat 20 crit, right? Yeah, nat
Yes.
20 crit with the sledgehammer would be, it's 2d8, so your nat crit would be 16 plus
Plus your level.
plus your level, which is 2.
So crit is 19 plus level or half level. I don't know if it's level.
And
or
can
half.
I use my
It's-
melee specialist to trigger my natural 18 to 20 as well to get my natural 19 effect? Or is that already happening?
Come again?
Can I use my melee specialist that lets me, for weapon master, on a natural 18 to 20 melee attack roll, I may trigger this abilities to apply my weapon's natural 19 effect. Is that already happening?
Natural 19 would be an additional damage.
Yes, and I would like to expend that.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
All right, so are we staying in the
So,
full fight for now since you got that in?
so I'm going to do 2d8 plus 3, and an additional 1d9. 1d8 plus
the
1.
2d8 plus 3 is maxed because you crit. And then,
Wait,
and
why
then
would
you
it?
add
Why
your-
would it be 19? His level is 2. His attack bonus is 2.
Because like it's an additional plus 3 from the damage normally. I think according to like the natural roll.
No,
Above.
he doesn't have a +3 to damage. He has help.
I have
Oh,
advantage
his
on
attack-
damage. I have advantage on damage rolls for the combat, though.
His attack bonus is
Oh.
2 for level 2 because he's a melee specialist, and then it adds his level on top.
Which
Does
is
it?
2. So it would be 20.
Right.
Yeah.
But I also reroll because I have advantage on my damage rolls this combat.
Yeah, I know. What I'm saying is you do more damage than what he wrote there.
Right. Right.
By 1
How
point.
much more? Do I just reroll the attack damage then?
Just
No,
roll
you're
your
fine.
19
No, you're
damage.
fine. He just takes 20 damage. Now you have to do your now you have to roll your nat 19, which for this is 1d8 plus 4 for the sledgehammer.
Is that also taking the fact that, like I said, I get advantage on damage rolls?
Yes.
So
Yeah, so roll 2d8, take the better one, and then add +4. So 5
So
plus 4 is 9, so a grand total of 29 damage.
and then additional for me doing my melee proc would be an additional d8 plus 4.
Yeah, it's already a +4 from the nat 19. So
Okay, so another d8.
no, it's advantage. You take the you roll
Right,
to
but
You rolled 2d8.
I rolled the advantage, and then that was also including me my using the other.
Oh, you rolled
special ability.
2d8, so it would have been the 3 plus the 4, so it's 27 damage total.
Okay.
That's how it works. Yeah, so by doing advantage, you take the greater of the 2 die you roll. So you rolled a 3 and a 2, and funnily enough, as you step back from the second axe swing into your torso, you see this massive man standing in front of you. Manny, how do you want to knock out the butcher in one swing?
Oh, dude, I
Oh.
told you know exactly how I'm going to do it. The cleaver. It's going to happen.
All right,
I'm going to
so
overhead.
you take your hammer in your hands, lift it high above you. He seems to anticipate what you're doing and attempts to dodge to the side of it, but you were a step ahead, bring it down, and crack it to the side of him. You hit the cleaver, which seems to bend to the side. Apparently this was a fucking toy. But you do smack his skull. No, I'm fucking with you. The cleaver goes straight through.
Nice.
And you watch as this giant of a 7'1" tall man who made the mistake of bending lower to try and avoid your plan actually gave you the opportunity you needed to hit the cleaver and send it straight through. felling him instantly as you did exactly his health and damage.
Damn.
Mouse is gonna see this and he's like, come on, and he's gonna start climbing back down.
The arena goes dead silent.
I'm gonna pick up the twin chain axis and I'll say, "Get out."
They all sort of look at each other because this is a new precedent, but all of them sort of just like they don't drop their weapons, but they start to slowly file out of the building.
Pixie's just like, so like, when are we gonna do anything?
You just hear over. So what you hear at this point is Flo over the box. She pulls out her own and is just like, Manny, this is taking too long. When can we fight? And then she sees them all start to wander out, and she's just like, what the fuck, Manny? You didn't leave anything for me?
Well, my work. Pixie is literally just like that meme. Well, my work here is done.
Hey, what, Flo? Thank you for the help.
Trisky, I just want to ask you, how pissed are you right now?
Am I pissed? No. Do I wish you had done one thing differently? Yes. I sort of really wanted to see what would happen if Deadpan used his zone of calm on a bunch of corn berserkers.
Well, it looks like I just kind of go on the comms. Well, looks like we've got a new base.
Yeah, so
do I have his chain axes now?
yeah, you get 2 chain axes.
Sarah, hey Sarah, I got a new toy.
So, yeah, that's going to actually, funnily enough, work out very well for Zach. Because that means the entire session, the majority of the main meat of this session is over now. We're just in the aftermath.
Wow. You planned this 3-hour long fight.
No, I didn't know how long it was going to go. I will be quite honest. I did not know how long it was going to go, whether or not you guys were actually going to fight, what you were going to do. I actually sort of was hoping that you would go in there and that you would attempt to somehow negotiate with these motherfuckers. But that didn't happen. You just went in there and bopped this motherfucker really quick.
Literally.
Manny literally walked in and just popped.
You did exact damage. You had 27 HP. You did exactly 27 HP. You rolled a 3 with your advantage. Got the +4. Made it exactly 27 by using that ability of yours to also get your nat 19 in. And did exact damage to this motherfucker.
Meanwhile, Mouse is just begrudgingly climbing back down from the tower. Motherfucking son of a bitch, having to climb up this damn thing for nothing.
Yeah, and so basically, everyone outside, you have a bunch of gangers that you brought along just in case this turned into a bloodbath. Everyone outside watches as all of these guys clad in red armor with weapons, they're also carrying their weapons. They refuse to release their weapons, and anybody who attempts to approach them or tell them to get rid of them, potentially is going to cause something to happen, but they all basically back down because they're all very peacefully walking the fuck away. This is really, really weird and totally not what you expected. And Sarah Creed over the comm is just like, Manny, what the fuck did you do?
I got us a base.
Hey, Mouse just
Ow.
comes in. I saw it from the fucking tower. He just bonked him on the head and made his cleaver go through his head. Then he just told everybody to leave, and they did.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tabletop moment for you. That's a fucking tabletop moment for you. Okay.
Come, let's go. Sorry, Flo.
All right. So yeah, basically all these guys that you saw up here, they are a mix of skinners and cutters. So they had actually mildly different ranks and different stats, and different weapons that they had at their disposal. all of these guys had a bunch of different things that they had that they cared about that you will never find out now because they all fucking just walked out. And now they're all just, like, boop, boop,
Future
boop.
encounters. I
Everyone-
saved you the trouble.
Everyone in the stands is gone.
They are a future encounter that you could reuse now. Think of it like that.
Yeah. Just an FYI, while this place seems like it's a massive coliseum, would you guys like to do some sort of like investigation or something for me?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm gonna walk over to give him one of the 2 power axes. Here you go, buddy.
Gut looks at it, just like sort of shakes his head and holds up his massive fucking rebar club. Got this.
Okay. Then I have 2 chain axe and they're and I have the 2 weapon
They're,
fighting.
they're dual chain axes, and I will give you their stats in a little bit. Actually, they're in the armory, aren't they? Yeah, they are in the armory. They're 1d12 plus 2 damage when they're held in one hand. Yeah, he was rolling really shit on his damage, by the way.
Oh,
They were 1d12 plus 2 damage, and he could have voluntarily. He was holding back because he has an ability that lets him swing twice per turn.
Yeah. Think of it like this way.
He was playing with his food, and he paid horribly for it.
Exactly.
Do we have anybody rolling for like investigation, see what they are like around here?
I mean, I'll try. I don't have an investigation skill, but
Yeah, if you don't have like a raw investigation, do a perception, and Mouse, you wanted to as well, so I'll roll for you.
Yes, and detection wouldn't classify that.
It would be detection. Detection works too.
Pixie sees
If you have detection and you just roll perception, go ahead and re-roll for it. Oh, wow. You're getting a great success, though, at least, so you get to do something, Mouse. Yeah, detection, great success, 8, target 17. So you succeed by 9.
Deception, not perception.
Ow.
Or detection. You rolled an 8 regardless, so like if it's an 8, you probably
What is your perception score?
Perception score is 12.
So you would have succeeded by 4. So out of everyone, Mouse found the most. All right, so after investigating this entire facility, basically what you figure out is everything that was once related to this place, once processing meat and food, has been stripped, removed, broken, or beaten. It is all completely and utterly non-functional in some way, shape, or form. Some of it has been badly marked, scarred, cut up by chain axes, you name it. It looks like these guys absolutely hated it all. And you also find at some of the edges of the, like, sort of just, if you imagine like a standard like ring, like with a four corner like boxing ring in the middle and the 4 paths that normally go off at each of the sides. One of these paths that go off, like the one that goes off, I would say approximately along this direction to Manny's east direction, to the east over here. There is, along that path, after a while, you take a slight turn, and there's a staircase that leads downwards to an entire undersection of this base. There is much more space than meets the eye. There is an entire under area with barracks and places for people to sleep. There's a cafeteria room and a bunch of stuff. They have a crude armory, but considering the events that were going on today, it seems like most of the weapons were taken out of the armory. You find some extra, like, basic, like, axes and cleavers lying around, but all the really nice stuff was taken out for show to put on this, and they walked out with them. So, and also, specifically, Manny, you did get a little bit of a success. You're walking around down there after this whole entire thing carried this guy's axes, and you come across a room that has a cleaver on, like, carved into the door, and it seems like it's at the very end of a longer hallway. It seems like it's obviously for somebody of import, you're assuming that when this place used to be the facility that was intended to be, this was probably like the manager's office or something. You're not sure. But what you do know is that you're assuming this was turned into the butcher's room. You go in and you find a small book, and it reads in actual like low Gothic basic English, and you gain a little bit of insight into his backstory that I'm going to send you shortly, that you are free to share as you see fit at your leisure later on.
Okay.
Now, Mouse, you managed to secure very quickly the nicest of the basically, as thanks for all of this and coordinating all of this, a certain individual named Sarah Creed basically says, all right, everyone else is getting basic barracks quarters. You guys are all going to be able to, like, if you find, like, decent one-off rooms, I get one of them because I need to, but you guys can claim some. Mouse immediately finds the nicest room other than the one that Sarah claims and gets it for himself.
Claiming the butcher's room. That's my room.
Nice.
Yeah, the butcher's room is nice, but it's not the prettiest room because the butcher wasn't one for like super like extravagance. Actually,
It doesn't matter. It's the manager's room. Technically, this is my place now.
yeah, you're in the manager's office. Mouse found the manager's bedroom.
You take what you kill.
Exactly. You may have
So,
found
yeah.
a bedroom, but I found a place of importance.
Oh, Manny, I hand you back your gun.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, look at it this way, Deadpan. Now you, Spider, and Hellia have a lot more space to hang out at.
So,
And we're protected by walls, too.
also, an unforeseen consequence of this, for Corvus, I'll give you some information later on in text. You can go ahead and head out. But Manny, an unforeseen consequence of this, though, that you probably weren't expecting, but can probably understand after I tell you. Flo is pissed at you. Reduce her
Yeah.
contact rank by 2.
That's fine. I'm not
Because
even
you
gonna-
promised her a fight, and you gave her no fight.
I know.
What if you
You had
gave her
no
a-
opportunity to die in the name of the Emperor.
To try to make amends for this, I will, instead of giving her that option, I will say you can keep the grenade launcher.
Right, reduce it by 1 instead. She's still miffed at you, but she'll accept this new Grenadier option as to make up for part of it.
We'll go over drinks later, too. Anyway.
And remove that grenade launcher from your character sheet.
Yep, I am.